Oh man. What's up, guys? Mike here from Binion Outdoors. Doing a quick rigging here. For those of you who aren't familiar with my channel, I'm up here in the Northeast, and we finally have open water, so I'm going to be able to actually get out fishing, hopefully next weekend. So, redoing some reels. I'm actually stripping this reel of line to put some different line on it, and then I'm going to be pretty much rigging rods and answering questions tonight. Just kind of a quick pop-up live, nothing I really planned, but if you guys have any questions, anything you want to know about fishing, anything you want to know about the channel, let me know in the comments. Really, this is just about getting on here and having a conversation with people. So if you guys have anything you want me to talk about, please let me know. I'm more than happy to have that conversation on here. More or less just excuse to talk, guys. So if you want to talk about anything while I'm doing this, let me know. I do have a lot of stuff coming up very, very soon on my channel. So for those of you who follow me, you know I've been doing a lot of different multi-species stuff. I plan on trying to get some trolling going. So trolling for trout, trolling for salmon, something a little bit different for the channel, as well as I'm going to be doing some tournaments this year. If you guys tune in to the episode on, I think it's Wednesday next week, we're going to be hanging out with my boy Bear Fishing, talking about some stuff there. And overall, it's just going to be a very, very busy summer, I think, for me on the channel. So I see we have a couple people up in here. If you guys are watching, say hi. Don't be shy. Feel free to ask questions. Feel free to jump in. And like I said, we're just kind of doing a little Sunday night rigging with some reels, playing around, getting some equipment ready for open water season. For anybody that's in the chat, just out of curiosity, you know, if you happen to jump into the chat, let me know where you're from, because I'm always curious to where this shorts feed is sharing stuff to. The last time I did one of these, I actually had a young kid from New Zealand jump in and say hi. So it's always interesting to me to see all the different people that are interested in a bass fishing live stream. So just something that to me is kind of cool, because I never would have the opportunity to meet people from other countries. So I see there's about 4 or 5 of you in here right now. So I know somebody wants to ask me a question or talk. If anybody's out there, just hit me up and we'll try to talk about anything you guys want to discuss. So what I'm doing right here, guys, is something that I don't recommend. But last year, I decided I wanted to do a specific setup for Texas rigging. I like to use high vis with a Texas rig because you can see the reaction a little bit quicker, helps you to kind of get on those fish. While I used the reel that had a little bit slower speed, it was actually just the only reel I had that didn't have line on it at the time. And to be honest, it's not the reel I want to use for that purpose. So I'm actually in the process of switching line from one reel to another. It's honestly, it's just because I'm cheap and I don't want to spend extra money on high vis line when I can just literally take it, tie it from one reel to the other, and then reel it on there. So I guess it's kind of a money saving tip. It's probably just me being cheap, and I probably shouldn't do it. I'm sure there's 100 reasons why it's not a good idea to transfer line from one reel to another, but I'm doing it anyways. Little trick, guys, if you have a bait caster and you're putting line on it, what I recommend, if the door opens, when you go to tie it to your spool, open that door, pull the spool out, tie the knot out here. Don't try to tie it inside of the reel, because you can get that knot a lot tighter, and it's a heck of a lot easier to tie that knot than it is to do it while you're inside the spool. There's not a lot of room to work with, especially in some of these more smaller size spools. Like this one right here is a Daiwa CC80, And that reel is a very, very tiny form factor to be more comfortable, but also makes it lighter in your hand. So, and again, guys, don't be shy. Anybody out there that has any bass fishing questions, want to tell me I suck, whatever you want to say, don't hesitate to put it out there in the chat, and I'm more than happy to engage with anyone who wants to talk. So, I see we've got about 9 people up in here now. So, there's got to be somebody with a fishing related question. Or I'll just continue to talk to myself. That's fine too. Just ask my boy Bear Fishing. I never have an issue talking. It's kind of my superpower. So if you guys can see this, I'm actually taking one reel, taking the line off of that reel and putting it on this reel. Again, not a normal thing I would recommend doing, but it allows me to save a little bit of money, transfer the line from one to the other, and I don't have to go buy a whole another spool of line for something that is just going to be a kind of a randomly used type of item. So for those of you who aren't familiar with like high vis line, the reason why this line is green is high vis line allows you to see it when it's on the surface of the water. So braided line typically is like a moss green or sometimes white, and most of the time that moss green, when you get it on the surface of the water, you actually can't see it very, very well. You won't be able to see it. It blends. It's actually designed specifically to blend in to hide from the bass. Well, I like the high visibility line for certain applications. Texas rigging, using a Ned rig, using anything that has like a plastic that you're not doing a super ton of weight on. That allows you to see the strike. So what'll happen is that line, when it's on the surface of the water, it will pull tight like that, or it'll swim side to side. And when it does that, it allows you to see it on the surface of the water. So sometimes you can detect a bite from a fish long before the fish actually pulls the line hard enough for you to feel it through the rod. So I really like high vis line. I think it's a very valuable tool that a lot of people overlook, and they think that the fish are going to see it. And I'll be honest with you, I used to be very skeptical of the high vis line. I used to think that high vis was something that was gimmicky, or honestly, I used to think that maybe it wasn't a good idea to have high vis line because you're really taught as a fisherman to hide the line from the fish. Well, I'll tell you, if you run high vis line with like a 6 or 7 foot fluoro or even copolymer leader, a lot of the times that is enough to be able to have what you want. It'll accomplish what you exactly need. Is you'll get the invisibility of the leader and you get the high visibility of the line. So the trickiest part of me getting ready for the season is picking the rod that I like to use. So every year I kind of play around with different rods and reels and try to figure out exactly what combinations of stuff that I like. And I don't buy expensive gear. So a lot of times my stuff is very, very, very inexpensive stuff that probably wasn't even designed for the purpose I'm using it for. But I do like to try different stuff every year. Hello, Tanya. Where are you from? And are you a fisher person or lady or male, or I'm not sure these days if I can even ask that, but are you someone who fishes, or are you just in here because you found it on the shorts feed? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a bot, or you're speaking a language that I don't understand. So unfortunately, I won't be able to respond to that because I speak English. I see there's about 5 people out there on the live. Is there anybody else out there that feels brave enough to put a message up in the chat? Anybody from any interesting, well, to me, interesting countries, foreign places other than the United States? Something that's kind of funny is I've actually learned that I do have a following in Russia for some reason. Now, I'm sure that a lot of those Russian followers might be just bots, but I found out I have a following in Russia, and I also have a following in the Philippines, which is kind of cool. I never really thought of the fact that when I'm putting these videos on the internet about fishing, that I would be attracting people from other countries. I guess I never really thought about the fact that there's probably bass in most countries. I don't know if I'm going to tie a leader on here. I think I might, though, just so I can have one. But yeah, guys, I'm just hanging out here, making a mess of everything, and trying to figure out what exactly I want to rig up for next weekend. Because it does look like next weekend I'm going to be able to fish, which is very exciting for me. Because I have not been able to open water fish since October 2023. So it's really a good chunk of time that I haven't been able to fish. So, I mean, I've been able to do the ice fishing thing, and I do enjoy ice fishing, but it's not the same as open water fishing by any means. And I definitely miss the open water game. See, I got 12 people in here now. That's actually pretty cool. Did not expect, honestly, to even get as many people that are in here just hanging out with me, watching. This reel right here, guys. Check out that bird's nest. It is nasty in there. Blew this reel completely up while I was fishing the last time I went out, and I just didn't take the time to fix it because I knew it was my last time out on the water. And I'm not so sure the further I get into it. I don't know if you guys can even see that very well, but see if I turn this light on if it helps. Yeah, it's like, that's a weird color. If you guys can kind of see that, it's definitely messed up inside. So I'm going to probably have to strip off all this line and put new fluoro on it, which kind of sucks because I was really not looking to have to redo the whole reel, but it does look like it's pretty nasty in here. Yeah, definitely got a big old mess. So I think it's going to be better just to cut this out and start over with new fluoro, which is why I don't usually put straight fluoro on reels, because it is freaking expensive to replace it. Does not make me happy to have to replace all that line. You can kind of get the moral of the story here is I'm cheap, and I don't like to waste a bunch of money on stuff when I can try to save it as much as I can. To anybody who just joined, guys, I'm just out here rigging some tackle, playing around, cutting line, transferring line from reels, getting ready for the upcoming 2024 open water bass season. So just kind of rigging stuff up. Decided I would jump on it live and see if anybody wants to have a conversation. So if you guys have any questions, you want to ask about bass fishing, again, if you want to tell me I suck, more than happy to have those conversations. I am just bored. My wife's at work, and I'm just untangling knots and reels. So figured I would jump on and see if anybody who watches my channel wanted to come hang out with me. So thought that was a fun little thing to do on a Sunday. Actually, it's not too bad down this far. Maybe I can get this to... I might be able to save this reel, guys. I'm kind of excited about that because I was really not looking forward to having to redo the whole spool. Burned off quite a bit, but I think I can probably save what's left. Seems like the further I get in here, though, there's still definitely some knots. Probably the most boring live on YouTube right now, I would imagine. Just watching some fool looking down at his crotch pulling knots out of a reel, but you know, thought it would be interesting. I know I would watch somebody doing this, but that's just because I'm addicted to fishing. So Yeah, I'm just going to cut this off. So far, I had one comment from Tanya. I do want to mention, if anybody that's watching is currently a subscriber, I really want to say I appreciate everyone who's been recently subscribing to my channel. I've grown really, really fast lately. Hit 1,000 subscribers this week, which, to be honest, I never thought would happen. My goal for this year was 500, and I far surpassed that. So I want to say thank you to you guys for getting me up to that level. I never thought I would hit 1,000, so I really appreciate you guys hitting that button and taking the chance to get all the notifications and see all the videos that I make. It's really important to me that I make good videos for people, but also that, you know, by subscribing, you're telling me you like the stuff I'm making and you're interested in my channel. So I want to thank everyone who's taken the time to subscribe, because it really means a lot to me. For that, on my carbon fire rod. This right here, guys, is a sneaky little rod. So this is a Lew's Carbon Fire speed stick. Now, it's something that's a Dick's Sporting Goods exclusive. You probably haven't seen these in a lot of places, but they have the Carbon Fire line, and the reel and the rod are freaking awesome. I actually bought them separately. I didn't get them in a combo. They didn't have a combo at the time, but this rod is the only rod that has come through multiple seasons with me. So I'm pretty rough on my gear. I am not gentle on my stuff at all, and I don't exactly buy super high-end stuff. I buy stuff that's on sale. I buy stuff that I can afford, and this rod right here has gotten me through about 3 seasons with 0 failures. I've had no problems with it, never had an issue with it, never really had any issues that the rod caused me to lose any fish or anything. This thing was literally one of the first rods I bought specifically for techniques, and it's still going. So guys are looking to pick up an inexpensive rod, I highly recommend the Lew's Carbon Fire series. There is a bunch of different actions, a bunch of different powers for these rods, and it is something that you do have to kind of figure out exactly what you want for it, but it is definitely a rod-reel combination that becomes a default setup for me. So that is 2 rods rigged. And I think we're going to probably go to this Lew's combo right here. Got to pair these up because they already came together. A good combination. Well, guys, it looks like no one's really interested in hanging out with me today, so I'm probably going to end the live right here. Those of you who just jumped in, if you're interested in having a conversation, please say so now, because going on 20 minutes now. The goal was to jump in here and talk to some people, but does not look like very many people are interested in having a conversation. So if you guys aren't looking to talk, then I could probably go do this by myself. But I was really kind of hoping to have some people come in and have a conversation. So let me know, guys, if you have any questions about bass fishing or anything like that. And don't hesitate to hit me up on my channel. I'm on Instagram, Binya Outdoors. I'm on the YouTube. Obviously, you guys are on here. And don't hesitate to hit me up, message me, and I'll answer some questions. I'll talk to you guys. I'm all about fishing. So I'm going to end the video right here, guys. I want to thank you all that took time to watch this video. I really appreciate it. And as always, let's get out there and catch more fish.